And I know that all of us now have to make big adjustments in spending so that we can prioritize those areas that are most productive and stay the course until our economy becomes productive and profitable again. In making those painful adjustments, I myself have to lead by example. This is why, effective immediately, all of my international trips between now and the end of the fiscal year, beginning with my trip to COP28 at the end of this month, are canceled. By extension, I'm putting a freeze on all public-funded international trips for all public officers at all levels.
If the Malawian president Lazarus Chakwera can reduce the government expenditure, why can't Nigeria do this? Why can't Nigeria reduce the cost of governance in our country? Why is the sleaze too huge? Why is corruption too deep in Nigerian system? Do you know that Tinubu has budgeted about $900,000 for his trip next year in January to Davos, Switzerland? Nearly 1 billion naira, that's depending on the exchange rate you want to use. But it's still a very huge amount just to travel for 6 days in a foreign country. Are Nigerians going to get their money's worth after they travel? The answer is no. You don't go after foreign investors, they come after you. If you have all the basics to support foreign investment, they will definitely come because they are the ones into the business. They can see a hot market when they see one. You don't need to use propaganda to convince them. They have many institutions that they will seek advice from before coming to your country. Like this institution in Netherlands that recently released a report saying that rule of law in Nigeria is gone. So these are the indices. These are what foreign investors look for. You don't need to convince them. They will see it and start making calls and start looking for contacts and start flooding Nigerian embassies abroad. Anyway, this has been overflogged in many of our videos. Now, like father, like son, everyone knows that Tinubu installed Sanwo-Olu as the governor of Lagos State. In fact, since he left office, he has been deciding who becomes governor in Lagos State. So Sanwo-Olu, being a godson, must learn from the godfather himself. The same way you see outrageous budgets at the federal level, you see presidential yachts, you see wasteful expenditure running into billions of naira. It is exactly the same way you see billions wasted in Lagos State. The recent release of the quarterly budget of the Lagos State government shows exactly the same pattern. It's not surprising though, because that was why they fought hard. They did anything, the unthinkable, in order to win the Lagos governorship election. We keep saying it, anyone that rigs election is not going there to serve the public. He's going to serve himself. That's why you see budgets like 2 billion naira to purchase rechargeable fans, a fridge, and other small items. No matter how they want to turn this and twist it, they can never justify the budget of 2 billion naira for rechargeable fans, even if they want to install an entire array of solar panels to recharge the fans. How can they justify 2 billion naira? Now to the next outrageous bill. They budgeted 850 million naira for petrol and diesel for the state fire service. How many vehicles do they have in the Lagos State Fire Service? They can't possibly be spending more than 1 million naira per day on diesel alone. It's not possible. That would mean 350 million naira in a year. That's including weekends. So even if the budget is for 2 years, you still have 500 million naira remaining in the budget. What is it for? You can understand what is going on here. Even the company that was awarded this contract is a dormant company according to CAC, and they are not into petroleum products. So what is going on here? It's not just the sleaze and corruption, but the contempt with which they treat Nigerians and people they govern. They feel you are not smart, you can't do anything. That's why they approve outrageous budgets. Even if it's the entire Lagos State government vehicles that use this amount of money to power their vehicles for a whole year, it's still an outrageous amount of money. Yes, even at the current price of petrol, they can't possibly be spending more than 1 million naira per day on petrol alone. That's outrageous. Besides, all of them are not on the road all the time. They only come to work or go on project inspection or go elsewhere. How many times are they on the road? What time do they have now to do the work of governance? Anyway, the people deserve the kind of government they get. You will see people defending this budget in the comment section. Yes, they will tell you all sorts of stories in order to justify it. In fact, some will not even make any attempt. They will tell you to focus on your state, as if a Chinese or a South African or an American cannot criticize Lagos state government. You don't need to be an American before you can criticize Joe Biden. You don't need to be a Chinese before you can criticize Xi Jinping. So all these are diversionary tactics. It's not even as if these guys receive enough money to defend the people that are stealing their money. They don't. They are paid peanuts that can't even last for a week, and they defend them as if their life depends on it. Why they get to office and continue stealing the state blind? Imagine buying 400 million naira bulletproof vehicle for the chief of staff. Chief of staff is not an elected individual. He is an appointee of the governor. Why does he need special protection? After all, he follows the governor around in most cases, so he's covered by the protection of the governor. Why do they need to waste that money? That 400 million naira can patch a lot of roads. They can use it to repair a lot of roads in Ikorodu. Not to talk of people living in slums. They can afford it. They can build mass housing and relocate all of them. Even if they don't want to relocate, they have to forcefully remove them and clear out the slums. It's an eyesore to a city like Lagos State. And when people try to compare Lagos with any other state in Nigeria, it's a very false comparison. Lagos State should be compared to Johannesburg, New York, Tokyo, London, and many huge cities because it is the economic capital of Nigeria. How can Sanwo-Olu justify 7.5 million naira for the purchase of fragrances for his own office? Is he going to be selling fragrances in his office? Is he going to be selling perfumes and diffusers in his office? How large is the office that he will require up to 7.5 million naira to purchase them? This is ridiculous. There's another one, 20 million naira for the decoration of a political leaders' congress that they want to hold. This is the function of the political party, not government. They can't be using the state resources to run the affairs of a political party. This is illegal. This should not be happening in a democracy. The Lagos State Treasury also paid for Sanwo-Olu's election litigation. Yes, this is another illegal expenditure. The state should not be paying for a governor's litigation. It doesn't happen. It is his personal affairs. The state already pays him a salary. Also, he had a job before he became governor. Everything about his life shouldn't be a burden to the state. Before his defenders will say, why are we talking about only Lagos? Why are we not talking about other states? Well, it doesn't diminish the fact that they budgeted these huge amounts. And we can still criticize Lagos and continue to criticize others when we get the information. There is a document in circulation right now. It is circulated by PDP and published by Sahara reporters. We will study that document. It is about the budget of Alex Oti of Abia State. We will study that document and we'll make a video at the appropriate time. You see, Nigeria's problem has never been a revenue problem. It is a spending problem. To whom much is given, much is expected. Lagos is in huge debt. It is the most indebted state in Nigeria. But look at how they are lavishing all the money, wasting the money. The sleaze is too outrageous. Is it because it is the people's money? Why do they close their eyes and spend this money as if it is theirs? The worst part of it is that no one can spend his personal money the way these guys lavish people's money. No billionaire will spend 7 million naira just for fragrance in Nigeria. No, nobody will do that. But if it is government money, they will spend it anyhow they want. They don't care. And the people they've mortgaged their future will be at the forefront in defending them. These people don't even have money to buy petrol to power their generator. That's if they have generator in the first place. They don't have electricity at home to charge their phones. But whenever they are able to charge it, they will be online defending them as if their life depends on it. So right now that Nigeria's debt servicing consumes about 95% of revenue, Nigeria can still work if the people in government are serious about it, if they are able to reduce expenditure. How can one budget $900,000 just for 6-day visit abroad? Are these people aware that the President of the United States pays for his own food at the White House? Yes, there's a cook, but all that he eats with his family, at the end of the day, he's giving the bill and he will pay it. He entertains a visitor at the White House. He is the one that will pay for the person's entertainment from his pocket. You are paid a salary, but despite all the humongous allowances, they still steal money. Why are these people heartless? Well, like we always say, people in power will never concede anything to you if you don't demand for it. Look at NSAS, for instance. While it was going on, the government refused to respond, but at the end of the day, they conceded in virtually everything. All the demands that people made, they conceded. Look at the labor strike of yesterday. The government conceded to nearly everything they demanded. So if you don't make demands from government, if you don't show grievances that you are aggrieved by the wasteful expenditures of politicians, they will never change. If you're a student or unemployed, and election is approaching, politicians are organizing students to help them rig elections. If you can't resist rigging the election for them or intimidating voters on election day, make sure you don't collect peanuts from them. Yes, you should see it as a business because you will be endangering your life in the process. Look at the recent Imo governorship election. It was citizens that caught a policeman involved in rigging, when it should be the police that will be catching civilians rigging election for politicians. They are all symptoms of a failed state. So if you have to be involved in rigging an election for a politician, make sure you charge them in billions of naira, because at the end of the day, when they get to that office, they will steal in multiple billions of naira. So see it as if you're taking your own cut from the deal. It's like a business. If you're a supporter of a politician who is a governor, and you know that even your own street has not been tarred by the governor, for the past maybe 10 years or 15 years, your street has remained dusty, and you continue to support that politician. Next time the politician wants to go out on a rally, make sure you charge him enough money that will last you at least for a year or 2 years. Because those peanuts, come, enter the bus, let's go to rally, they will give you 1,000, 2,000. It's nothing. It cannot even buy you anything. It can't take you for a whole day in today's Nigerian economy. The moral of the story is that citizens support politicians blindly, or in some cases because of what they will get for the moment, what they will earn for their selfish interests. But at the end of the day, they will be the ones to start shouting, hey, this economy is very hard, our naira is now devalued, this, that, blah, blah, blah. You have to do the right thing at any moment. When the person was campaigning, make sure you choose the right leader. Make sure you choose someone that cares. At least someone that will not use 7.5 million naira to buy perfume. Can you imagine that? Because it is government money. No one, even if you are worth 100 billion naira, you can never spend 7.5 million naira to buy fragrances. Hey! So no matter how rich you are, you can never run away from happenings in Nigeria. Even if you have a 100-car convoy, you will still be stuck in the same traffic, in the same pothole-riddled roads. You are still exposed to the security challenges in a non-functional country. That's how it works. Except you run away from Nigeria, you go abroad to live. You must be affected by happenings in Nigeria. So why don't all of us work hard to make sure we enthrone good people that at least care for the masses, at least are progressive, people that won't be wasting money on unnecessary frivolities just because they think they have the power. Thanks for watching.